Sick of your job? Maybe it's time to try quiet quitting. It's the new trend sweeping across social media platforms like Tickety Talk, but it doesn't mean actually quitting. It only means doing the bare minimum at work, not doing anything extra. No staying late, no volunteering to help coworkers. Proponents claim it's a way to take back your life from your boss, but employment experts say it could backfire spectacularly. The panel is back. Inez Stepman, Marie Harf, and Spike Cohen. Spike, you strike me as more of a loud quitter, like you're going to go out with a bang.
Actually, I was a loud business starter. So when I was 16 years old, I started my first company so that I wouldn't have to work for someone else. But yeah, I think what we're seeing here is a combination of things. I think we're seeing some people who would rather spend their time where they're not doing just the bare minimum, building up their own thing, whether it's on Etsy or on their own company or on OnlyFans or something like that. They would rather do it to put money directly in their own pocket. That's the growth of the gig economy. I think it's also other people who have been able to scam various entitlement systems and assistance programs. And I think it's some people that are suffering from some weird combination of burnout and probably undiagnosed depression as a result of the pandemic and the lockdowns and the furloughs and the total roller coaster ride we've had over the last 2-3 years now. The problem is they are preparing themselves not just for a life of mediocrity, but also a life of obsolescence. Because let's be clear, a robotic winter is coming. The system that we live in, the society we live in, is not going to tolerate endless labor and supply chain issues. Robotics are going to be coming in full force. And if these folks aren't, and I'll say this to anyone watching this too, if you aren't already actively developing marketable skills that can't easily be done by robots and computer programs, you need to, because soon you're going to be quiet doing nothing.
Wow. It's a dark future. Marie, no robot could replace you, don't you think?
Thank you. Or you, Tom. I agree with that. Yeah, that was a lot that I'm digesting right now from the conversation. I mean, look, I think that during the pandemic, a lot of people realized they wanted some better work-life balance. They wanted to not be, chained to their desk for 12 hours a day, and that maybe they could, for example, work at home 1 or 2 days a week. What a novel concept. So I think, quiet quitting in some respects is just having better work-life balance. I also think there's still a ton of people who want to work really hard, who want to go the extra mile, who want to help their colleagues. But, sometimes I think there's a rebalance going on here, right? Like a little bit of people saying we're willing to work hard, but bosses can't take advantage of that. And I think that is to the good. If we have a little more balance, maybe you get to spend 1 day at home a week. I think that's kind of nice, and people are realizing that after 2 really hard years.
A little more chill. Inez, I think the one thing we learned during the pandemic is people who work in offices don't really do a lot because they were able to stay home. They still have their jobs. They claim they got their work done. So maybe a lot of people are quiet quitting.
Yeah, I think, again, I guess I kind of agree with Marie on this one. I think there are upsides and downsides to this. I think we're going to be renegotiating a lot of the boundaries around work now that we've really moved into an era after the pandemic where a lot more people are going to be working from home, right? And I know that, a lot of offices are pushing back against that because exactly they do see productivity drop-offs from everybody working from home. And I do think there's some downsides to it, like, we already live 2 atomized, digitized lives, right? Even if the office didn't provide some huge benefit in productivity, it still sometimes is good for people to interact with human beings outside of their families. And I think that's all to the good. So I think we're just renegotiating a balance here. I do think a lot of people, because they had nothing else to do in the sort of real part of the shutdowns, there was literally nothing else to do for a lot of this kind of laptop class. And so they worked 12 or 16 hours because they really didn't have much else to do. And I do think that, offices are going to have to accept that's not going to become the new norm. As obviously lots of things are, almost back to normal now, people are not going to want to spend 16 hours a day working when they previously spent 8, especially for the same salary.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that phrase, laptop class, and it's so true. During the pandemic, the people who were really working were bringing the sandwiches and, fixing plumbing. You can't fix a toilet on Zoom. So thanks, panel.